Do you celebrate your uniqueness, or do you see it as a negative thing? Recently, I was talking with a friend about who I'm not in a negative way, right? In a negative way. And I was sort of going, do I need to get less abrasive? Do I need to get more girly? Do I need to get more nurturing to attract more people to my tribe? Do I need to become this other person that I'm not? Because I feel like I don't fit. I'm not a typical girl. And they said to me, because sometimes we have to have anchors, don't we, outside of ourselves to understand things. And they said, well, you're just a bit more like Mary Portas or Alex Polizzi, and they're not seen as bad people. And I was smiling because I was thinking, God, I love those two women. I think they're fantastic. So suddenly I discovered something that, although I was worrying that, my lack of softness was a problem, actually the thing that they said I was like, I was actually really happy with. I was thinking, oh, hey, that's me. Oh, that's fantastic. So do you celebrate your uniqueness? Do you kind of look at yourself and go, this is who I am. These are the bits that I'm happy with. These are the bits I would like to work on, but not in an accusatory, beat yourself up. Oh God, I'm such a nasty person. Just in a, hey, I take responsibility that I did that wrong. What can I do to make that better? What can I do? How can I do that better in the future? Does that fit with how I am? Do I want to get more nurturing? Do I want to get more nurturing? That type of questioning. And if I do, where do I go to learn how to do that? Yeah. And if I don't, then it's fine, because it's all about being genuine, isn't it? And being authentic. Because you can be the biggest pop star. Yeah, you can be the biggest film star. But they're often playing a role and they might feel kind of confident and secure. But do they? How often do you read that they've got problems or they're in rehab and, there's problems going on there? And there's so many things where we look at others and go, oh, they've got this and I haven't got that. Should I do what they're doing? Should I be who they are? They make decisions quicker and better and they seem to get better results, whatever it might be. Trying to model ourselves on other people without taking into account who we are and what we want and how we want to be. Yeah. That's okay with us. Doesn't really matter if who I am and what I want isn't okay with you guys. Doesn't really matter, does it? No, of course not. So do you celebrate that uniqueness about you, or do you worry all the time and go, oh, but I'm not that person, I'm not that person, I'm not that person, rather than do all that comparison stuff? I mean, we had that big thing, didn't we, about that Instagram girl going, oh, it's not real. Like, woo, what a surprise. It's not real. People on social media aren't necessarily genuine and real. And it all stems from some kind of insecurity. So all those people you think are really confident, are getting really awesome results in their business, or they really turn, go back to gurus, really turn other people's businesses around. There are areas that they don't feel so confident in. There are times, can they be with themselves? Can they be quiet? Can they be happy alone? I mean, the biggest learning curve for me so far has been being single. And I keep recommending it to people because until you're single for a very, very long time, and I mean properly single, not dating, not fancying people, not chasing people, you can't really learn to be happy in not your own company, because that's a bit woo-woo for me, isn't it? But in just your uniqueness. Like, recently I was feeling a bit demotivated towards work and everyone was giving me these hacks, get dressed in the morning, dress like you're going to work, have an office, treat it like it's work. But you know what? I kind of like my pajamas. And it's nothing to do with how I dress is really going to make a huge amount of difference to whether I'm motivated for work that day. Not really. It's just a little hack. It's just a little tactic. It's just a little tool. And it does seem kind of pointless, doesn't it? Really? I get up in the morning and let's pretend I'm going to be geared up for work by getting ready and being in work mode. Whereas actually, I'm as capable of taking an action to do with work when I'm in pajamas or whether I'm in a suit. It might vaguely change some kind of mental state, but it doesn't make any difference to that action. And that action comes from within, and that action comes from my desire to take that action. So actually no amount of getting dressed in a suit was going to make me more prepared to take an action that day than any other day. It was more to do with where I was, what I was feeling comfortable with or uncomfortable with, and me finding my own answers. And yes, that did involve a lot of conversations with a lot of people, but ultimately the answer, I'm going to go all Tony Robbins, came from within. Ooh, bit of Tony. Do you know what? I've never read one of his books. I really should at some point, but I'm sure it won't particularly resonate, or only bits of it will resonate. Anyway, this is just because I felt like saying something to a video. No, this is because I feel from a few conversations I've had that some people are constantly doing that whole comparison thing, and that really the plans for your business have to be about your business, about how you want that business to shape, what you are comfortable with, what you believe, you know. And if there's no evidence for your beliefs, then go and look for that evidence, go research and see if you're right in some of the assumptions you're making. But don't just look at someone else going, well, I really should do it that way then. You know, I met someone who's charging, 10 times as much as me, and they earn as, per session, and therefore they earn the same as me, but they're less busy because they have to train less people, and that's the way it must be done. Well, not if you don't feel it, and not if you don't believe it, and not if it's who you are. Yeah, you can't build a plan based on somebody else's grand scheme of things. You've got to build a plan according to what you want and what fits with you and your uniqueness. Even identical twins are unique at the end of the day. Okay, that's it. Another long one. Bye.